Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In this one we're going to go over the NBA for March 1st. And let's get started with Washington versus Charlotte. Washington money line plus 146 currently. This is current odds. Minus 174 for the Charlotte Hornets. Spread is 4 points favoring Charlotte. Washington underdog on the spread, 4-point underdog. Minus 108 is their cost. Minus 112 is the cost of the home favorite Charlotte Hornets. Over under 219.5 total. Minus 110 even cost. Let's see where the money is going in this one. Let me X out of that. Scroll down. All right. 38% of the money is going in favor of Washington. 62% of the money is going in favor of Charlotte. 33 and 67%. Not much different, but it's somewhat different. 5.5% difference between the teams. We're going to focus on the money, though, usually, but do not ignore the betting percentage. The betting slips. 33% going with Washington, 67% going with Charlotte. And the spread. The spread is 41% of the money going in favor of Washington. Once again, that is the 4-point spread for the Wizards. 59% in favor of the Charlotte Hornets at home. So people putting more money on Charlotte in this one, expecting them to get getting a sizable amount of the money. And people expecting them to win at home. Makes sense, though. Especially since they're minus 174. That's one of the higher favorites they've been pretty much all season. That's when they're going against an opponent, but they are going against one of the worst teams in the league in Washington. Wouldn't expect anyone to go against Charlotte in this one. Not very many people, but it could happen. Charlotte's not one of the best teams themselves, but Washington could get this victory. But more than likely, it is minus 174. But this is what to look for when you want to determine a winner on the money line. Minus 165 to minus 175 is probably the range they're going to end up at by the time game time approaches. If they go up to minus 180, that is more than likely a guaranteed victory for Charlotte if they stay above that 60th percentile on the money, which they more than likely they will. I don't expect this to change on the splits or the odds much. So look to go Charlotte in this one. Once again, these are early odds. These are not my final picks. These are the early odds based on what I'm seeing right now early in the morning. Over under 219.5, minus 110 cost. A lot of people picking the over, 85%, 80% of the money, 85% of the betting, 80% of the money going over. But I am going to fade the public in that one only because it's early. But if the over goes to minus 105, somewhere around that range, or minus 112, somewhere around there, then go with the over, only if they adjust these odds to those specific numbers. But let's go with Brooklyn versus Detroit. Plus 350 for Brooklyn, minus 450 for Detroit. Plus 10, minus 110 for Brooklyn Nets, minus 10, minus 110. Minus 110 of the cost for the home favorite Detroit Pistons. Over-unders at 218, minus 110 cost. Let's see where the money is going in this one. So 10-point favorites are the Pistons in this one. 81% at home of the money going with the home team. 81% going with the Pistons. 79% going with them on the spread. And with this, 19% going with Brooklyn. Only 19%. Now, this is a game where I wouldn't take many risks, but in this 10, a lot of people are probably going to go with. I'm going to tell you now, when the sharps go in, this is going to change. I think the money line is going to stay somewhere the same, 81%, 70, 80%. But I think the spread is going to change. I think, when the sharps go in, they're going to put money on Brooklyn. This is going to change to close to, I'll say, around 60%. Probably even 55 to 59 range. By the time the sharps go in, they're going to put money, especially if that spread stays around 10 and definitely more. People are going to put more money. But if this spread is already gone down from 10.5 to 10, if this spread stays somewhere around this range or higher, I would go with Detroit on the spread. But as it currently stands, or if it goes down, I would go with Brooklyn on the spread. They increased that spread to try to get you to go with Brooklyn, and sometimes Detroit will win. So, and sometimes the opposite. Well, in this case, in a case like this, sometimes the larger favorite will win only if the spread is higher. But sometimes the spread goes lower, the underdog will win in favor of the odds. The odds, because more people are gonna in favor of the money too, the splits. Because more people are gonna put more money on Detroit if the odds decrease on the spread, that is, than if the odds go up, which means they have to cover more points. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Over under is at 218, minus 110 cost even, 85% going over, 84% of the betting going over. And I would join the public in that one. Although most people, only as it currently stands. Only as it currently stands. Watch how those odds adjust and pay attention to the costs in this one. Minus 112, minus 105, minus 118. A little bit, that's a little bit average. Minus 120. Those are the odds that hit more so than not, especially on the totals. All right, Sacramento versus Houston. Plus 164 for the Kings, minus 196 for the Rockets. Let's see where the money is going here. 61% in favor of Houston in this one. 39% in favor of Sacramento. 61%. Let's see. 61% in favor here. As long as Houston stays above this, they're getting 61% of the money, 55% on the spread. The spread is at 5 points, minus 110 cost. As long as Houston can stay somewhere around this minus 200 range, they're going to win the game. If they exceed this minus 200 range and they constantly stay above about 55, 60 plus percent, which they are now 61, Houston is going to win this game. Pay attention to the splits in this one. This is minus 200. Going to be more than likely minus 200, probably by around tip off. If it decreases, and the Kings are getting plus 164 at, let's say they're going to be around 40, no, let's say around 30%. From 39 to 30%, go with Sacramento in that one. Across the board, obviously, you go with them on the spread if they're a dog, if you pick them on the money line. But as it currently stands, I'm going with Houston. I would consider this Sacramento pick on the spread. Over under 227.5, minus 110 cost. Over under. Let's see. 227.5. Minus 110 cost. Where's the money going in that one? A lot of people picking the over. Expecting that total to go over 227. I would join the public in that one and go over that 227. With this cost being minus 110, watch how that cost adjusts. If this cost goes up at all, join the public and go with the over. I'm going with the over anyway, but join the public and go with the over if you consider going with the under. Let's go with San Antonio versus Memphis. Plus 110, plus 310 for San Antonio. Minus 390 for Memphis. Let's see where the money is. All right, 16% going with San Antonio. 84% going with Memphis at home. See, this is where it gets tricky. Beware of home favorites. Beware of massive home favorites. Because San Antonio could end up sneaking this game. 10-point spread is it, and they're at minus that minus 112. Those hit more so than the minus 108s, but it's not a sizable difference. But minus 112s hit more than the minus 108s. But those odds could change as it's still early in the day. 84% going with Memphis. For now. Only for now. And this is one of the higher ones of the day. I would go with Memphis at home. But beware of San Antonio here on the spread for sure. Because San Antonio could sneak this game with so many people betting heavily on Memphis. Memphis goes toward that 90th percentile. I say bet San Antonio all day. 90th percentile on the money, and they're already 90th percentile, 91 on the betting. But the spread, 10 point spread, 81% going with Memphis in that 10-point spread. Now, when the sharps go in, they're going to bet San Antonio. This is not going to be 81% in favor of Memphis, especially with a double-digit spread. It's going to be closer to, they're going to be around 30%, 29% more than likely by game time. I would say a lot of people are going to bet that way, but I would say go with San Antonio on the spread here, because you got to lean towards San Antonio, even though they're a massive dog in this one. You got to lean towards San Antonio with that percentage being so high for Memphis. So I would go with Memphis on the money line, but if you were to bet again, take this risk and go with San Antonio on the money line here. Over under 242.5 minus 110. 58%. 58% in favor of the over. 56% of the money going with the over. On the, well, it was 241.5. Now it's 242. It is increasing. I'll say join the public and go with the over. Go with the over. Even though it's increasing, go with the over. They're trying to entice you to go under. Let's go to the next one. All right. Milwaukee versus Dallas. Minus 152 for Milwaukee. Plus 128 for Dallas. On the money line, as long as the Bucks stay above this 152 threshold, they can safely, they're a safe pick in my opinion, even though they're getting 78% of the money here. They're getting 83% on the spread. What is the spread? Only 3 points. So basically what you go with, it's not a pick'em game, but it's somewhat of a pick'em game, especially in basketball. 3-point difference, minus 110 cost. 227.5 is the total. Over is getting that minus 112 cost. Under is getting that 227.5 minus 108 cost. I would go with Milwaukee on the money line only as it currently stands. They start going beneath that minus 150. That's when you really need to consider going with Dallas. But minus 3 points. 3 points in favor of the Bucks on the road. And yeah, this 78%, they can more than likely hold that. I would not trust Milwaukee if they go beneath this minus 150. I would not trust Milwaukee, only in that case. But yeah, Golden State versus Philadelphia. Minus 300 for Golden State, plus 245 for Philadelphia. Now, Golden State has not performed well here recently as a favorite. Minus 8 points, minus 108 costs, plus 8 points for Philadelphia, minus 112 costs for them at home. Golden State are 8-point favorites. 94% in favor of them on the money line, 88% in favor of them on the spread. This can more than likely hold up only if these lower. This goes beneath that 94%. And this goes beneath that 88%, especially this 94. We're going to focus on the money line here. That goes beneath that 94%. That's when you really need to consider staying with Golden State, only if their odds increase or stay around this minus 300. If their odds decrease while their percentages here decreases, that's when you really need to consider Philadelphia as a money pick today. But as it currently stands, Golden State looks good on the money line. And as you can see, Milwaukee just went up to minus 162. Dallas went up in their respective direction to plus 136 from plus 128. And they're getting 22% of the money. That's where it gets tricky with these, with around that minus 150 threshold. But back to this one. Philadelphia looks safe on the spread. Philadelphia looks safe on the spread. With so many people betting here, it would only make sense that they balance this out somewhat. It's either going to be Philadelphia winning here in the money line in the spread, or Philadelphia just winning the spread. Over under is 225.5 minus 110 even. Let's see where the money is going. All right, over 91%, 89% going over. With this one, I would go under. I would go with the under 225.5. But watch how these odds adjust. Minus 110, minus 110. Watch how those odds change. Whichever one goes down to minus 112, go with that pick. But yeah, I've been Scott. Join the Patreon. Pray every day. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next game. You guys take care. In the next video, you guys take care. We will be posting the NCAA as well today. NHL, more than likely soccer. We'll be getting into that, and MLB is heating up too. They're in spring training. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. You guys take care. Pray every day.